everybody, welcome back or welcome to Elderflower Stitches. My name is Susie and I am the host of this knitting and sewing podcast, and you are joining me today for episode 2. I started this podcast just over a month ago and I've been absolutely blown away by everybody's kind messages and support, so thank you so much for thank you so much for all the love and all the kindness, because it's really encouraged me and kept me wanting to keep going and making more videos. Since I made my first podcast, I've done a few autumn vlogs, which some of you have joined me for, and that's been really good fun. I'm here for episode 2 today, so this will be the regular podcast format, so a knitting and sewing segment with finished objects, works in progress and plans, and then at the end of the video we are going to be finding out the winner of my Mend-Along giveaway, and then I'll be announcing some very exciting shop news all about advent calendars. So let me tell you a little bit about me before we get started. So my name is Susie and I'm a knitter and a sewer from East Sussex in England. I live with my husband Joe and we have a very beautiful cat called Beatrice, and she's a ragdoll Persian mix. She's featured a few times on my vlogs, so if you want to see her then that's probably the place to have a look. What else do you need to know? I work full-time as a primary school teacher, and knitting and sewing is my my downtime and the way that I relax. I'm not very good at just sort of sitting still and not doing anything. I feel like my brain has to be busy, so my idea of relaxing is doing something that still uses a fair bit of brain power, hence the knitting and sewing. Okay. You can find me on Instagram as Elderflower Stitches. I'm also on Ravelry as Suzie Petals, and I have a little Etsy shop called Elderflower Stitches as well. In there you can see lots of Progress Keeper sets, and soon there will be a Progress Keeper set advent calendar which will be available, and coming up later on this month I will be launching my first hand-dyed yarns and project bags. So if you're interested in any of those things, then pop over and have a look at my shop. Any other bits before we get started? I think that's it for the the beginning bits. Yeah, okay, right, let's start with sewing today, and let's start with finished objects. Now, in my first episode I showed you a quilt that I had started when my husband and I moved into our first home together before we got married. We've been married for 6 years, so this quilt is a very long-standing work in progress, but it's finally now finished. So this is the quilt. It's kind of a double bed size, so it would fit across the square of the double bed, but it wouldn't hang off the edges. And it's made from some fabric by, the designs were by Kirsty Alsop for Hobbycraft. She did three different colourways of this. So there was a purple one which I used to make a quilt for my niece Evie, and a blue range which I think I cut into charm squares, and then I never actually made anything with it. And then the green ones. So this is the green set, and I just made the herringbone style from half square triangles, which I think I learned about on a YouTube tutorial. One of my favourite YouTubers for quilting stuff is Missouri Star Quilt Co, and they just do loads of amazing, really inspiring blocks, and they give you all of the instructions in the video, and then you can buy the packs from their website, but they're based in America, so I've never bought the packs, but most of it is available in the UK as well. Yeah, so just a load of half square triangles really. It was a bit of brain work, especially when it came to the stripes, because they had to, at first I'd made a few half square triangles, and then when I went to sew them together, one lot of stripes was going one way and one lot of stripes was going like vertically, so I had to kind of get my brain around that. I remember that being a bit stressful, and but it's done and I've finally finished. So I had never put the binding on, so I've now got a bound and finished quilt that can be used without worrying about fraying edges. So that's one finished object, my herringbone quilt. Second finished object, and I'm really excited about this one, is a project bag that I have made. So I started off, I'll show you the history of my project bags. This is the first one that I ever made. It's just a cotton, there's no interfacing or anything, it's just kind of a little pouch, which works absolutely fine. And then project bag Mark II was this one, which I made using a design from Indigo Birds Designs called, was it just called, maybe it had a name? I mentioned it in my first podcast, but what I found was that when you hold it like this, the bottom kind of sags out, and I wasn't too keen on that, and it doesn't quite stand up. If I'd have used thicker fabric, it probably would have. But then I spotted in my bedroom this bag that I had been gifted a few years ago now, and I thought that is the perfect shape and size for a little knitting project bag, and all I would need to do is add a drawstring to it. So I took a pattern from this bag design and made it into a project bag. I added a few features like a little keyring tab and some pockets on the inside, and here is the final design. I'm totally in love with this fabric. This is one of the ones that I showed last time that I picked up from the pumpkin patch in a little town nearby called Hailsham. Yeah, let me show you the inside as well. So on the inside it's fully lined, and there are two pockets. So I've got one big pocket that goes the full side all the way from one edge to the other, and it's just about big enough for A4. And then on the other side there's a smaller pocket which is just about the right sort of size for a pair of scissors, a couple of spare needles, that sort of thing. Yeah, and it's made from canvas, so it's nice and sturdy and stands up nicely. And then when you pull the drawstrings, it makes a really lovely kind of squat shape, so I'm pretty in love with that. And I've been using this to keep my Suzie sweater project in. And you can fit quite a few skeins of yarn. It fits 3 caked skeins really neatly together at the bottom, like that. You see, yeah, with your project sitting on top as well, so a nice handy size. I'm really pleased with that. And yeah, I've been keeping my Suzie sweater in there, so I'll show you my jumper in the next section. But that's my project bag. So 2 finished objects for sewing this month, my herringbone quilt and my project bag. I don't have any sewing works in progress, mostly because when I sit down to sew, I kind of get the project finished. But I do have some sewing plans. I would really like to make myself a winter coat, because I've tried a few coats on in high street shops and I really struggle with fitting, because I'm quite curvy and I'm like not between sizes, but my bust and my waist are very different sizes. So if I get it to fit my bust, it just swamps my waist and I look bigger than I am. which makes me something that I feel really insecure about. So yeah, otherwise if I get it to fit my waist and it fits everywhere else nicely, I can't do it up. So I think I'm going to have to take the plunge and make myself a coat. If you have any suggestions for coat designs, then do let me know. If I'm going to all of that effort, I want it to be like a really nice coat. So I'm thinking a nice, maybe blush or camel coloured wool, and then quite a traditional coat style, so either like a single breasted with a nice big Peter Pan style collar and big buttons, or like one with a more peak lapel and like double breasted and a tie or a belt or something. So if you know of any nice coat patterns in those styles, then please let me know, because I'm getting quite chilly. I went out last night and my friend was like, why haven't you got a coat on? I was like, I don't have one. I have jackets, but they're not warm. So yeah, I need to get myself some fabric and get making a coat rather quickly. The season has suddenly like appeared and it's really chilly now, so I need to get on that pretty quick. So finished objects, herringbone quilt project bag, no sewing whips, but sewing plans are a nice winter coat. I think I remembered everything. Okay, shall we move on to knitting and crochet? I did actually do a little bit of crochet this month. Let's see if I can find it in amongst all of my whips. Yes. So, almost finished object. I've been trying a little bit to be a bit more eco-friendly, and I'm not doing anywhere near as much as some people, but I think anything that you do is having an impact. So even if it's tiny, it's worth doing. And one thing that I do is use cotton pads to take my makeup off in the evening. And I thought, okay, that's one thing that I could replace. So I crocheted some of these little face pads. And they are just made doing 3 rounds of double crochets, I think. I started with 8 and then 16 and then I don't know, I can't remember, one in every, I can't remember now. I just found a tutorial online that was how to crochet a flat circle, and I just did those. And they are made using using this yarn called Rico Rumi. Oh, dropped on the floor. I'll get another colour. Rico Rumi cotton DK. So this is 100% cotton, and yeah, it's a DK weight. It's a 25 gram little mini skein, which is they're so cute. Look how dinky it is. And I picked this up for £1 each in Hobbycraft, and I picked up a few colours that I'm using for other bits as well. So yeah, probably going to make a few more of these, and I just need to weave in the ends and then they're all done. But they were super easy and took like 10 minutes each to make. The only issue, because I have made and started using a few, is that they soak up quite a lot of product. So I'm wondering whether I need to wet them first and then put the makeup remover stuff on there, or just try a different product that's more cream based than liquid, because it would just, you'd be pouring it on there for ages and it would just keep soaking up. So that's something to think about. Let's talk about whips. And as I've got this project bag here, let's talk about what's in here. So this is another one of the project bags that I made last month. And this is the small size. And in here, I have a beautiful pattern. and it's the Wondrous Dishcloth by Jules of So Sweet Violet. And I've got a few little skeins of the Rico Rumi. Got this gorgeous little pale yellow and like a biscuit brown, a pale grey, and a sort of a medium, like a dove grey, I suppose. And this is the one that I have started. So here is my little Wondrous Dishcloth so far. I'm knitting this on Knit Pro Nova interchangeables, and these are 3.5s, I think, whichever the pattern suggests. And this is what I've got so far. So this yarn is a DK and the pattern is for 4-ply, so it's going to come up a bit bigger, and I might not be able to make the full length. It might just be a bit more square, but I'm kind of okay with that. Because it's not a garment, I don't feel like it will matter that much. It's still knitting up okay. So it's got this lovely textured effect on one side, and then the back is like a stocking stitch, and then inside Jules teaches you this magic way of securing the front and back together so that when you're using it, it's not just like a saggy pouch of knit. It's like two sides are held together to make it a bit better for scrubbing with. So I'll probably get that finished if I just sit down and crack on with it, but I've been a bit although I've got lots of whips on the go, I've kind of been a bit monogamous and focusing on one particular whip that I've been very excited about. Next up, let's have some coffee. I just like rush through. I get totally worn out. Now this one is one that I showed last time, and it's the Dust of Snow wrap by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade, and this is from her Knit Vent 2018 collection, and it's I don't think it's grown since I last showed you, and I've actually twisted off the needles because I'm using it for I'm using the same size for a different project. So here it is. It's so cute. I'm making it from 10-gram micro skeins, but the pattern calls for 20-gram minis, which I didn't have. I made myself an advent calendar last year from 10-gram micro skeins, and I thought, well, it seems to be the thing for me to use completely the wrong yarn that's suggested, or the wrong amount of it. So I just went down 2 sizes. So instead of a 4.5, I went to a 3.5, and then it makes a denser fabric, so it's coming out more like solid, whereas the pattern, if you look, is a bit more like loose and drapey. So this will make more of a scarf than a wrap, but I think once it's blocked, it will still grow a fair bit, because you can open it up without stretching it hugely. And I think I'm on colour number 12 of that. So sweet, all the lovely lace, and it's held together with mohair. So I've done the pink and purple bit, and now I'm on to the pinky peachy bit. I was going to go into yellows, greens and blues, but I decided I probably wouldn't wear that because it would be too many different colours together. So I de-stashed those, and they've gone off to a lovely new home, I think in America. And I'm just going to carry on with sort of pinks and peachy scraps that I have. So I've got this left over from my Suzie, no, not my Suzie, from my boho blush shawl, which is this lovely alpaca, silk and cashmere, which I hand dyed. And I've got this little 10-gram micro, bit of a muddle because they've been in the bag. That's hand dyed as well. This one is from the Knitting and Stitching show from last year, and it's from a lovely lady from France, and her shop is called Laine Amourie. And I can't remember which base this was, but the name in French was something about the colour of lips. I think it might have been the Athena base. Might be making that up. That's how much mohair I've got. So that's from a 50-gram. I've got like a tiny bit left, and I'll be needing another bit soon. That's all the colours I've got in there at the moment, but I'll have some other scraps which I will be using as part of that. So that's my Dust of Snow wrap, which is kind of on pause, but I might pick it up and put another colour on every now and then, but probably not until my Suzie sweater is finished, because I'm using the same size needles. So the next project I'll show you is my Suzie jumper from Along avec Anna. It's this gorgeous like almost scoop neck, finished with ribbing, and it's fingering held with mohair. That yarn is just beautiful. Look at these little speckles, it's so pretty. But I am knitting it in a combination of Loom Wool's White Peach and my hand dyed yarn called Point Shoes that I showed last time. So here is my sweater so far. I'm absolutely in love with it. It's my favourite project, which is why all my other whips have not really had much attention, because I've just been so focused on this. So this is the Loom Wool White Peach, and then this is my Point Shoes. So Point Shoes is slightly peachier, whereas the White Peach has got more of a pinky tone to it, but I think it blends absolutely fine. I mean, people fade far more contrasting colours together and it looks lovely. So I carried on for a little bit in the White Peach past the armhole, and I've saved a fair bit of it so that I can do the sleeve caps and a little bit of the sleeve in that, and then I'll blend it back into this one, which is my one. So held together with mohair, you knit it all in the round and then come back and pick up the stitches to rib for the neck hole or the neckline. Yeah, totally in love with it. Kind of like the idea of it being a little bit of a short sleeve actually. Maybe not quite that short, but like, I don't know, maybe it's cute. Okay, the reason I have these two progress keepers on here is because I've dropped 2 stitches on the sleeve. So I had to quickly pop those on there so that the stitches didn't go any further up. Yeah, this one I think came with the White Peach from Loom Wool, and this is one of my autumn trees, which was an autumn exclusive in my Etsy shop, and I think there's still a couple of those available if you're interested. I'm going to put that back in its project bag now so that it doesn't get in a muddle, and because I love my bag. So what other whips have I got to show you? What have we looked at? Wondrous Dishcloth, Dust of Snow, Suzie jumper. What's in there? Aha! Another beautiful Helen Stewart pattern. I really love her patterns because they just have the most wonderful details in them. So this is the Piece of Wild Things shawl, again from Helen's lovely Knit Vent collection from last year. And it's this stocking stitch shawl, and then with this gorgeous lace border around the edge. And I have not got very far, but I've made a start. This is my piece of Wild Things shawl so far. I did this kind of in like one sitting really, so if I'd sat down and focused on it a bit more, I'd have a fair bit more done. But like I said, I've been pretty monogamous on my Suzie sweater. I can't remember how you create this beautiful border, but it's so lovely. I think it's a combination of slip stitches and yarn overs and things, but it's so nice. This is another one of my hand dyed yarns in this very pretty pinky lavendery colour. Just on sock base. These needles are not Knit Pros, these are Pony fixed circulars, and this was the first kind of circular needle I knit on, and they're fine, they do the job, but you really notice how ridgy that join is, whereas on the Knit Pros it's so smooth. So I think that's probably another reason why I haven't been knitting on it, because the needles are annoying me. But when I'm finished with that size of my Knit Pro interchangeables are being used for something else, so once that's finished I'll probably use that. I think that's it for whips. My next project is going to be another Helen Stewart pattern from her Knit Bent collection, and they are the How Quiet mitts. And I need to get on this rather quickly because it's getting really quite chilly now. But I've got this lovely Sublime Superfine Alpaca DK, which I'm going to be using for that. It's nice and squishy and soft. So that's my knitting plans. But other than that, I just really need to get on with my Suzie sweater. I'm really enjoying knitting it, so I just want to like go round and round and round and get the body done and do the sleeves and yeah, finish my first jumper. I'm hoping that I can get it done before December, so the rest of October and November. But I need to knit some mittens alongside that rather quickly, because otherwise I'm going to end up buying them from the shop, and then it'll be more acrylic, which is more plastic. So yeah, knitting and crochet done. Acquisitions, I don't have much this month. Last month I'd bought lots of things, but because they're still whips, there's kind of no point me buying. That's silly. Of course there's a point me buying. I will still be buying lots of yarn, but I kind of want to get some of the whips done. And also my mum and I are going to the Knitting and Stitching show on Saturday, so I haven't been buying huge amounts of stuff because I know that I'll be going there and probably be buying lots of things at the Knitting and Stitching show. In previous years when we've gone, I've gone more for the sewing side of things, but this year will definitely be a lot more about the yarn for me that I'm really looking for. Yeah, nice hand-dyed yarn stalls and indie pattern designers and things, so I'm looking forward to that. But I do have one acquisition to show you, and that's this beautiful yarn from Dandelion and Dogwood, and it's called Bluebell Bells, and it's on their Perfect sock base, and it is just gorgeous. So Amy and Jen, who are sisters, run Dandelion and Dogwood, and they have truly captured the lovely purpley blue colour of bluebells in spring, and I love all this like blue speckling and purple speckling and everything, so that's gorgeous and is going to be a pair of socks. I currently don't actually have a pair of socks on the needles, which is the first time in a long time for me. Socks are normally something that I've always got on the go and I'm just working on pretty rapidly, but yeah, no socks on the needles. I'm all about the sweater at the moment. So keep working on that and hopefully get it done in time for winter. Is that everything for knitting and sewing? Let me think. I think so. Shall we talk about advent calendars? So I mentioned a couple of vlogs ago that I was thinking about doing an advent calendar with two options. One is the 4 Advent Sundays plus a Christmas Eve, and you will get a Progress Keeper set on each day with a notions pouch. And the other option is the 12 Days of Christmas. So you have a Progress Keeper set to open on 12 days plus a notions pouch and a project bag. And I was blown away by all of the wonderful responses. So many people said that they would be interested, and yeah, that they would be really keen. So I thought, okay, I will do it. I will do some advent calendars. And I had so much fun sourcing all of the wintry Christmassy charms to make the Progress Keepers with. So very, very excited about that. All of the Progress Keeper sets will be very much in keeping with my Elderflower Stitches style. So there'll be rose gold with the little blush stitch markers. Yeah, I don't do like proper novelty Christmassy stuff. I'm quite a what's the word? I like muted palettes. I'm quite toned down, so red and green and things are not my cup of tea. And I know that some people love them, and good for them, but I'm very much like glittery and gold and pink. So my advent calendars will be very much in keeping with that. So without further ado, I'm going to show you the project bag and notions pouch that you will get with it, and then I'll talk a little bit about what will come with it. So here is the project bag. It's the same style as the one I showed before, but you get this lovely star key ring on it, there's like a little bit there, so you can push it down and pop your keys in, not your keys, but like your Progress Keeper sets and things like that on there to make it look cute. And that is a rose gold and a star, so that it's a bit festive. And it's made in this beautiful Liberty fabric, and the flowers on there are snowdrops, which I just thought was a really nice nod to kind of winter. And yeah, snowdrops are the first bulb that comes up in England, or one of the first ones, along with I think crocuses. So I thought it was a really nice nod to winter and wildflowers. Lovely. And I had to have some blush in there, so it's got a blush channel for the drawstrings and then a blush lining inside. And inside you have one large pocket all around the front. So this is the one that you could fit a piece of A4 paper into if you wanted to. And then at the back you have 4 pockets. So there's a medium one, which you can put your notions pouch into, and then a slightly smaller one which you could put like scissors or things like that in there, and then 2 smaller ones which I've got a pen and some little hooks and spare needles in there. So lots of pockets. I wanted to make it really beautiful but also useful, so all the kind of things that you need when you're knitting can fit in here. And then this is the little notions pouch. So you would get the notions pouch with either advent calendar. So it would come with the 5-day one, but you also get it with the 12-day one as well. And that's just canvas inside with a little popper, and it's just about the right size to fit one of the little Progress Keeper sets, all wrapped up in there. So with the 5-day one, you get 5 little Progress Keeper sets like this. And I've even got festive tissue paper, and each of them is numbered so you can see which order to open them in if you want to. You can open them whenever you like and in any order that you like, but they'll each come wrapped like that. And then the 12-day one, you'll get 12 of those. So 5 day, 5 of these, 1 of these, 12 day, 12 of these, 1 of these, and 1 of these gorgeous bags. I'm a bit in love with that little keyring. I just think it's the sweetest little thing. Yeah, so the Notions pouch fits in the medium pocket there. Also, I would just, I keep this on me quite a lot because it's a thread cutter and a gauge and also a needle sizer, and I made the smaller pockets just the right size to fit that in as well. I picked this up from Wool Warehouse, I think, and they had a purple one as well, but I really liked that that fits in there. You've got spare needles and your pens, Notions pouch, and then you can pop your pattern. You can pop that in the other big pocket. So you can fit an A4 in there if you want to, or you could fold it up and pop it in instead. There you go, it's a bit tidier now. Ta-da! Love pockets. Even the pockets are finished with the Liberty fabric that's on the outside as well. And as if that wasn't enough options, I have a second colourway that you can choose. So this is the green, and then this one is the blue. So it's a nice round base, the blue Liberty fabric around the top. Nice chunky drawstrings, and then blush lining and the same pocket. So you've got one large pocket that's big enough for A4, and then a medium, a small, and then 2 little dinky pockets for pens. And this one will have the key ring on as well, but I just made this one up for me. So, ta-da! And this is the little blue Notions pouch. So same thing goes, and that fits nicely into the medium pocket. Yes, so if you're interested in picking up an advent calendar, they will be listed in my shop today, Sunday the 6th of October at 7 PM British Summer Time this evening. I've had quite a lot of interest in them, and I have quite a small number of them available because I had to kind of source all of the things beforehand. So yeah, I don't know how quickly they will go, so if you're super interested, then I would make sure you keep your eyes peeled on my Etsy shop at 7 PM. I just rushed through. I need to like slow down. Okay, giveaway. So when I started my first podcast, I said that I would be doing a little mend along giveaway, and all you had to do to take part was mend something and take a picture of it and share it with the hashtag Elderflower Stitches MAL on Instagram. And I had 11 entries, which, considering I'm such a newbie, was really sweet. Some people entered 5 times, which was amazing. And I had a message from one lady who took part saying, I feel like I've already won because I've mended all of these things that previously I'd have not kept and had to buy a new one. So that was lovely. So here are all of the entries. And what I'm going to do to find the winner is do a random number picker. I'm not sure what is going on with my French. Right. So, random number generator between 1 and 11. And the numbers will keep going like this. And then I will stop the numbers, and whichever number it lands on is going to be the winner of the giveaway. So 3, 2, 1. Number 5, which is Sapendrecht, and that's the lady who did 5 entries. Wow, so well done to you. Thank you so much for taking part. I will be in touch to get your goodies to you. But thank you very much to everybody else who took part as well. I hope that you enjoyed mending something. Oh, I need to show you what I mended as well, don't I? I mended one thing. So considering I was hosting the mend along, that was kind of a poor effort from me. But yeah, there we go. So I'll show you what I mended as well. But for now, I will show you again the prizes that you have won. So you have got this lovely tote bag from Zero Waste in Eastbourne, which is one of those shops where you go along with your empty pots and you can fill them up. And you have got 2 bamboo toothbrushes from a company called Plastic Phobia, 1 reusable drinking straw, also from Plastic Phobia, and a straw brush cleaner. Plus, of course, a skein of lovely hand-dyed yarn. And I had so many wonderful suggestions for the name of this yarn, like blue skies and oceans, and oh, so many lovely names. And what I will do is write them all down for you and post them to you, and you can choose which name you go for. But there's lots of, oh my goodness, look at all the lovely blues in that. So I hope that you love it and make something really special. But yeah, so well done to Sup and Drosh. I will get your winnings out to you very soon. Anything else? I feel worn out. Is there anything else I need to tell you? There will probably be some more random updates as and when I kind of source little charms and things. I've got a couple of Halloween-ish themed ones. I don't do like big novelty stuff, but yeah, it's just not my style. So there are a couple of, I think I've got some little witches and some little bats that will be coming soon. And then, okay, yarn dyeing and that to launch. So this coming week, I will be showing you the yarn colourways that I'm dyeing up and the project bags and notions pouches that will be all a part of that collection, which you'll be able to buy separately. And the week after, so this week beginning the 7th of October, I'll show you the colourways that will be available, and then next week, the week beginning the 14th of October, there will be pre-order slots available in my Etsy shop. So that will be unlimited. You don't need to like rush. It will be open for the whole week, and if you need more than the quantity that's available, you can just let me know, because I'll be dyeing to order basically. So however many orders I get, that's what I'll dye, so I won't run out of that. So I know there's been other things that I've only got a limited number and then they sell out and people can't get them. So with the yarn, at least this time round, it will be as many as you need. And there will be 4 bases, which is a mohair, a really high twist sock yarn, and a gorgeous yarn that I used for my boho blush shawl, which is alpaca, silk and cashmere, and then a lovely merino DK. So hopefully got most of your autumn winter projects covered. And they'll be available in 2 colourways plus an undyed colourway if people want a natural one to go in their projects. Yeah, I'll be showing you all of those colourways, and each of them will come with their very own special progress keeper, and it all fits in with this one kind of theme and story, and I'll tell you more about that in its own special video. But that is coming this week, and then pre-orders are available next week. Oh, anything else? I don't think so. I think that's everything. Later on this afternoon, I think my husband and I are off to the allotment. There's quite a bit of clearing up to do. We always find at the end of summer, beginning of autumn, we start to go down there less, but everything isn't finished, so it gets a bit muddly, and there's lots of dead plants to pull up and weeds, and we need to like redo the wood chip on the paths and bits and bobs for that. So I might film a vlog with some snippets of our time down at the allotment. But yeah, that's me. Episode 2. Ta-da! Sorry it took so long to film. I've been promising it all week, and then awful lighting, and then ran out of time. I actually bought a craft light, which is what I'm using now, and I'm so impressed with it. It was a bit of a bargain because there was 20% off in the craft shop that I got it from, and it was like a bendy neck, I guess it's called. The make it, you can like angle it, and then you can use it as a magnifying glass. So it's like a ring light, and you've got a magnifying glass inside, which was very handy when I was doing my nails. So I'll be able to film whenever the mood takes me now, which is very exciting. Yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I will be back with some random vlogs throughout the month, and probably a third podcast episode either the end of October, maybe beginning of November. Yeah, probably lots of vlogs of me dyeing yarn and making project bags in the half-term holiday, which is when I'll be working on all of your pre-orders. Yeah, really excited for that. Looking forward to it. So I hope that you have a wonderful weekend, rest of the week, wherever you are in the week watching this, and I will see you very soon. Bye everyone.